Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to give you a review on the DJI Osmo Action Pro 5, and this is my current helmet cam that I use in order to record the races. I've been putting this thing through its paces both on and off the track, and spoiler alert, it is seriously impressive. Let's get into it. So before we start, it's probably worth me telling you that this is not a sponsored review. This is my own opinion of my gear that I've bought with my own money and I've been using in order to create YouTube content. I've been using action cams for years now. This is my original GoPro Hero 5 Black, which I've had since it pretty much came out. And I used to use this for mountain bike videos. I would put that onto a helmet and basically go and do some rides out with some lads that I knew. It would provide me with good enough footage that I'd be able to put it online and effectively share it with the lads, but I wouldn't have done what I do with it now, which is post it onto YouTube. When I upgraded to the Osmo Action Pro 5, the difference in the quality was just noticeable straight away. The battery life was far superior and the image quality was an absolutely buttery smooth 4K. I'm really impressed with the way this thing handles the riding. I'm also impressed with the way that it actually shows the riding, and sometimes when you are wearing these action cams it can make things look rather slow. It can be a bit too unstable, but the stabilization on this camera makes everything to do with track work look absolutely buttery smooth, and I think that helps to convey some of the intricacies of racing, how close I am basically to the other riders and what other riders are doing around us, and it gives you that sense of speed, which I just think is missing from some of the older tech. Now I chose DJI over the GoPro for one simple reason. I had started to get other DJI products such as the drones and other camera products such as the Osmo Pocket 3, and I wanted something to work with them seamlessly. What I quite like is in my videos, I don't think that you can tell when I'm using different devices. So the quality between the images generally is the same, but there are some very different pros and cons to what device I'm using at any point in time. When I bought my Osmo Action Pro 5, I bought the Adventure Combo. I was a bit worried about battery life, and I knew I was going to be filming all day at the events for the races, and I didn't want to be caught short by not having enough accessories in order to get what I wanted out of it. So with the Action Pro 5 Adventure Combo, you get a charging case for your batteries, which holds the batteries in. You get a large, what I'm going to call selfie stick, which is basically like an extension in your hand so that you can use this thing for vlogging, or you can use it as a handle if you want to go around filming different bits and pieces. I have found that very useful, to be honest, in filming some of the B-roll stuff that I do. And you get the usual DJI stickers, a load of different accessories like the charging cables, and you get the 2 GoPro mounts in the Adventure kit. The mounts are really good. They are magnetic, so when you go to put your action camera next to your mount, you will find that it just helps locate that in. So without much effort, you can click your action cam in and it's secure, and it's not going anywhere at that point, and I really like that system. When I'm riding, I've got the helmet on, and I don't really want to be taking my helmet on and off in order to put the camera on or take it off. And I want it secure. I want to know that it's going to be there in case of anything that happens. If I go over a large bump, if I have a large drop, and to be fair, I've crashed in this and it has stayed well attached. Okay, so let's talk durability. So I crashed with this thing on the Friday before the Knowsley Regional. I had a washout where my front wheel went and I ended up on the deck. I hit my head on the tarmac berm and the camera did not budge. Now I didn't have the frame that comes with it, which is this. I didn't have that on there at the time. Now the reason why I don't have that frame on there is because where I mount it, I want as much vision clearance as I can. The frame actually adds a couple of mil, and that does take away from a little bit of my vision on what I can see when I'm racing, and I obviously want to keep that to an absolute minimum. But this thing, I crashed. I've got a tiny mark which I will try and pick up with a camera on the lens cover, and other than that, it's absolutely perfect. Now, that lens cover is detachable. You can replace that, and the cost for it is about £20. So, you know, as far as a serviceable piece of kit goes, that's pretty good, and I'm happy with that. So, massive positive for DJI was the battery life. I bought the Adventure Combo. It comes with 3 different batteries, and so far I think I've only used 1.5 batteries whilst being out at a race. Now, bear in mind, I'm out really from about 9 o'clock in the morning till about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I am videoing each one of the races, and I'm in the pens talking to people and collecting an awful lot of footage. If I'm out at a race, even though you're seeing a 20-minute video from me, it's normally in the 2 to 3 hour range of video. Now, I feel massively secure in the fact that I can take that camera out with 1 battery, and to be honest, I could probably film a whole race on 1 battery if I was really careful. Now, I don't like being careful, because part of what I do is I try and get as much sort of raw footage as I can of what we're doing whilst we're racing and while we're talking in the pens, and I like the freedom to be able to do that, and then obviously I can just delete what I want and use what I want. But I don't want to be worrying about battery life. And with the DJI, I'm not worrying about battery life. So even if you did get this as a standard combo and you aren't doing full days like me out in the field, basically trying to get as much footage as possible, this is going to be okay for you. I went on a large ride in Landegler on Friday, and I used 1 battery, and I still had enough to do my B-roll footage and bits and pieces that I wanted to do. All I would say is you don't have to go the whole hog like I did and buy the Adventure Combo. It is the right thing for me, but it might not be the right thing for you. And if you want to save a little bit of money on that, you don't really want the DJI stick effectively, which helps you record, then I would suggest miss that out, and you will be fine with a 1 battery. So talking about integration then, I use DJI mics, both the Mic Mini and the Mic 2. Now, I use these separately, and I tend to link them up to my Osmo Pocket 3 like I am doing now, but you can link them to the Osmo Action Pro 5 as well, and I love that seamless connectivity that they seem to have between these products just makes my life infinitely easier. So if for some reason I can't use my Osmo Pocket 3, let's say that it's raining, because it's got a gimbal, it does not like the rain, and it isn't waterproof at all, it is likely to damage it, then I will use my helmet cam effectively to do all my commentary on the day racing. When you saw me in the National Indoor Centre, I was using my helmet, walking around with it and talking to it, effectively vlogging from the helmet. I did that both with and without the microphone. The normal sound on the Osmo Action Pro 5 is pretty good, to be honest, but with the microphone it just isolates out that little bit better. It works in tandem with it. I can see that the connection to the actual camera is there and that it's recording, and I can see what the sound levels are like as well, so it does give me a good indication of whether it's picking up the sound, but it works seamlessly. Okay, so when I bought my helmet cam, I also got the DJI Insurance that you can buy separately for it. Now, I bought mine from DJI for £28, and that covers 2 years of use. So effectively, if I damage the camera at any point in time, which I did think I was likely to do in case I had a crash, I was using it for BMX racing at the end of the day, then I can get a very low cost replacement for it. And so the cool thing with that is that I got that because I was a bit worried that I would be a bit precious about riding and racing with this camera on, and that's just kind of removed that edge for me, that I'm not really worried about the piece of kit. Whilst I'm not reckless with it, I'm just not worried that if I do have an off, if it ends up rolling down the track and gets cracked, crushed, or something happens to it, I'm happy that I've got the insurance in place, that I can just get it replaced and get it repaired. It just gives me that peace of mind, really, to crack on and do what I want to do with it. One of my big negatives for the Osmo Action Pro 5 is that the supplied action mount that is supposed to go on your helmet is curved in a really weird way but the only way you can put this thing onto a helmet is right on top of it. And unfortunately, that for me just absolutely ruins the way that the footage looks. When you start to put the camera on top of your head, it slows things down. It does not give you the same view that I'm effectively getting when I'm racing, and I just think it takes away from that. And that is a massive oversight by DJI. This thing, I've actually got 2 of these now from the different DJI cameras I bought, and they're useless to me. So what I did actually buy is a specific helmet mount for Troy Lee helmets that I found on eBay. Now I'll put a link in the description below in case you need to get hold of one, because to be honest, I only found one that was available. Now it's clearly a 3D printed item, but it's contoured to the bottom of that visor for the Troy Lee. So it came supplied with a 3M piece of tape. All I did was put it into the correct position that I wanted it in, obviously took the tape off, stuck it down, and then heated it up with a hairdryer. And you want to get it pretty hot, just so that it gets to that point where it's got really sticky and really tacky, because what you don't want to have is that helmet cam is mounted and then it just falls off because the adhesion and the stickiness to the actual visor doesn't do its job. That's left me in a position where when I have crashed, it has absolutely stayed on rock solid, and it includes I've crashed and hit my head into the floor and it didn't move. So I was absolutely made up with that. The Osmo Action Pro 5 retails at about £320. The Adventure combo that I bought was around the £400 mark and came with some of them extra bits and pieces that I have discussed. Your kind of minimum spend for this is going to be around the £300 mark. Now you are looking out for anything where this might be on sale, because it will come up every now and again where it will be on sale and it might be worth picking up. So in conclusion, the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro has earned its place in my kit. I'm using it consistently to create footage for YouTube, and I'm happy with the results that I'm getting. It has the battery life and durability I need, and it plays perfectly with my Osmo Pocket 3 for some seamless edits. If you found my review useful, please do drop me a like, subscribe to the channel for more reviews and more BMX content. And if you've got anything that you want me to review out of the kit that I've got, then please do drop me a comment and let me know. Until next time, keep it rubber side down, look after yourselves and just ride safe.